Halloween 5.
Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, is written by Dominic Oren-Jarrad and is written by Michael Jacobs, Shirim Bitterman, and Dominic Jarrad. And it stars Donald Pleasence, once again, Danielle Harris, Ellie Cornell, Beulah Starr, Wendy Kaplan, and of course Don Shanks as Michael Myers. The movie is essentially a continuation, picks up right where Halloween 4 left off. I've seen this movie thousands and thousands of times, because every year around Halloween time, I sit back and I watch Halloween 4 and then Halloween 5. And I always like watching them back to back, and yeah, I know it's not a great movie. Yeah, I know it's not, but it's kind of like a guilty pleasure movie, you know? You gotta watch it, and you're just like, you know, and like, there are some good moments I like in the movie. Like, alright, yes, I know the movie's terrible. And in fact, the movie, as I was doing research, the movie had a lot of production issues. In fact, the opening of the scene is actually a reminiscence to Bride of Frankenstein, where Frankenstein survives and everything, and that's kind of the idea of it, is like, okay, Michael Myers survives through the pit, because that's what happened in Bride of Frankenstein. And so, trying to justify how Frankenstein survived, and so that's how they do it. But in their movie, and then of course you see how Michael Myers survives, and then he finds an old man, and then he falls down dead for like a year, and doesn't wake back up until October of next year. And what it is, they said, is the reason, there's actually supposed to be, not instead of being an old man, it's supposed to be a cult member, and it's supposed to justify more of the cults, the Thorn cult shit that they do in Halloween 6. You know, they did, like, at the end of the 4 was going to be, like, the script went through several rewrites. One was, okay, let's have Michael Myers and Jamie Lloyd go around killing people. Let's have two antagonists, and Dr. Loomis and Rachel go after them and try to kill them. But then that didn't happen because the Mustafar Akkad, who owns the rights to Halloween, was like, people do not want to see that. They'll think it's a parody. You know, we need to make Michael Myers the antagonist, the shape. You know, he goes around killing people. So that's what happened, and I apologize for the accent. And so that's what happens, and they go, and, you know, they're like, so finally, you know, and the director was hired because Deborah Hill, who was the original co-writer of the first two Halloween movies, and sold her rights with John Carpenter to Mustafar Akkad, was like, she's recommended Dominic Oren-Jarrad to Mustafar Akkad, saying he made an indie film, just won some awards at this film festival. You should really check him out. And so he goes, okay, well, and so of course he met him, and of course he offered him Halloween 5, of course, in which I really like Halloween 4. I think Halloween 4 is one of the perfect movies. He has a really good opening, has a really good fun feel to it, and then at the end has a strong ass third act. And I always felt, and it has a twist ending. That's a great ending. I felt like when I watched this, the opening to the Halloween 5 is so cool when you hear the slicing pumpkins and you hear the Halloween theme and you see a flashback of the last film, and then you see like new footage of them blowing up. They're like, Sheriff Meeker's like, blow it, and he drops that grenade down. It was not grenade, but it was dynamite down, and you just go, and they go, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. You see Michael Myers just crawling through there. He's like, the movie's fun. I really enjoy the movie, and I really like the ending of the Halloween 5. The movie, there are some parts that are really stupid and some cheesy. Like, I can live past the cheesiness of this movie. I do hate the cult shit, though. Like, I really hate. And what happened is, the director come up with the idea, oh, let's make her mute. Let's make Jamie a mute, and let's let her be, like, you know, because she was such a great character in 4, and then they kind of just ruined her in 5, because they didn't want to make her, it felt like the producer did not want to make her a killer, but then the director didn't want to make her a good character, so he's like, oh, you know what, let's just, fine, you don't want her to be a killer? Guess what? She is a mute character who does nothing. There. Acting. Thank you. You know, it's just like that. So instead that happens, and so you're just like, well, you know, and they went through several rewrites, and they literally started shooting without a script. Like, they were literally just shooting with ideas. And they were like, all right, let's do this. And Donald Pleasence was so agitated, and wine what kept him going. He said wine, because apparently, I did not know, he loves wine. And so that's what he would do, just drink wine. And also, he was really agitated. In fact, Don Shanks, who plays Michael Myers, has said, yeah, Donald Pleasence was aggravated. In fact, he had another movie, he shot all his stuff in 2 weeks. You know, he said, look, I got to go 2 weeks. So they were literally just creating scenes for Loomis at thin air. And in fact, one scene, Don Shanks, who plays Michael Myers, he said to him, hey, can you go and stand over there in the woods? Because I don't want to be talking to the nothing by myself, you know. And so Don Shanks is like, yeah, I'll go up there. He goes and stands in the woods. It's Michael Myers. And it's in the movie, too. They turn the camera, and you can see Michael Myers in the woods. It's Don Shanks in the mask, and they're standing there. And he even said, in like on the commentary for the Five, says, I did not know that they were filming that. He said, I knew that they were filming Loomis. I did not know that they turned the camera on me. Did not know that. He goes, I did not know. He goes, I was just standing there like nothing, he said he had no clue because he always thought it was from like a POV of Michael's point of view. He never knew that they it's in the film, in the freaking film. He's just standing there like he's just waiting for his cue. And he's like, if I would have known they were shooting me, I would have. He said did something different. He says I had no clue they were shooting me. And so, yeah, they were shooting him. They shot, it's only one scene in the movie. It's on every film format. That scene. I'm just like, imagine how awkward he is. He's just sitting there waiting, and it's just like, it's like, why does Michael Myers look like he's waiting on something? It's just like, he's not like doing this, but you know, he's just waiting. Like, you're like, why is he waiting on something? Like, come on, Loomis, leave. Come on. Like in the movie, it's like he's waiting for Loomis to leave so he could go and kill Jamie because Dr. Loomis is like, Michael, the girl is at your house, Michael. Go home, Michael. Go home. You know, and you could just see Michael Myers in the woods just standing there waiting. He's waiting. And like, I don't know why though. Like he literally, like, you know, it just seems like he's just waiting. Like, come on, leave, Dr. Loomis, so I can go. You know. Okay, he's leaving. All right, I'm going. You know, like it just seems like Michael Myers has a sense of humor in these movies. That just seems like, from every point of view, it seems like, you know, it's so crazy in this movie that there's just like, yeah, the movie was shot, you know, and there's even a scene in the movie that people still give this movie shit for today. All right, so the movie, all right, at the end of the movie, after like, you know, because the police go to the house and SWAT and everything's there waiting for Myers to show up, and then of course, like someone kills, like, you know, someone gets killed at the clinic, and so then she has a vision, because apparently she has visions now and shit. That's weird. Yeah, she has a connection with Michael, and so basically she knows when he's around and shit. So basically the SWAT and everything leave, except for one, and then Dr. Loomis is like, nah, y'all come, Michael. And then there's like one unit, there's like 2 cops left, and one gets killed by Michael, because Michael somehow steals a cop car and comes after him. Apparently in the deleted scenes, Michael went to the clinic, there was a cop at the clinic, and Michael killed the cop and this little boy. The little boy was with Jamie. He killed the cop and killed the little boy, and then that's what happened. And so that's why all the cops are going there, because like, oh, Michael's there, and he just stole the cop car and drove around the cops somehow, and got there, killed the cop in the other car, beat his face in to death, and then basically come in the Myers house, and which Dr. Loomis is really crazy in this movie. He's like, we're gonna take you to and then he's like, no, and he kills, and then fakely kills Loomis again, because every time it's like Loomis will not die. Loomis is like the Terminator, okay? He's been stabbed, shot, burned. You know, Loomis is literally, I don't know if he's been shot, but yeah, he's been stabbed. He's been stabbed by Michael Myers several times. He's been set on fire in a fucking explosion, and he's still not dead. How is that possible? That man would be dead right now. That man's like 80 years old. I mean, that Michael Myers is thrown through windows and everything else. He would be dead by now. But then, of course, one of the controversial things in the movie is when, in the post-credit scene, when he's in the, well, not post-credit scene, but like at the end when he's in the police station, and Michael Myers gets caught by the police in this movie. And I actually kind of like that. He gets caught by the police. But like you see him, he's just sitting there like this, twirling his chains, like, you know, just shaking his chains, just grabbing the chains, just going back. I'm just like, a lot of people get controversy, like, why is Michael Myers playing with his chains? I'm like, I don't care. I mean, like, you know, he's caught, so he's just like, I guess he's trying to pass time, you know. But yeah, like a lot of people, there was a lot of issues in this movie. Like for one, like, you know, a lot of people, the producer, they were trying to kill Ellie Cornell's character, that, you know, Rachel, They were trying to kill her character because they wanted to bring in Tina, played by Wendy Kaplan. And she basically, that was the idea. They're like, oh, we're going to bring her in. We're going to kill this character off to show that no one is safe from Michael Myers. And then, of course, that backfired because people loved her. Like, she was a prominent female heroine that you killed, like, for, like, in merely, like, 10 minutes or 15 minutes into the movie. And it makes no freaking sense. Which Mustafar Akkad has said, that was one of his biggest regrets. Because people loved Halloween 4 and loved her character. And then it just feels like you did nothing with that character. And originally, that death was supposed to be more gruesome. The death was supposed to, she's going to be stabbed in the throat and killed. But she suggested saying, look, can we do something less gruesome? Because, you know, that'd just be too messed up. And so he said, yeah, we'll just stab you, like, in the chest. That's fine. I go, okay. And so, I mean, that's just, it messes up. It's messed up, you know. I did say, there's one scene I really like in the movie. Like, there's some scenes I really do like in the movie. Like, I really like the scene where Michael Myers is chasing Jamie down in the car. Like, he's trying to run him down in the car. That is a great scene. I always thought that was so amazing. That scene was so awesome. I like the opening credits, and I love that scene where Michael Myers is in the car. That he's just trying to run him down, and he's just, and then he crashes into the tree, and you just hear that horn. And you're like, where is he? Is he in the car? And turns out in real life that car was a real crash that actually happened. Like, they really crashed in there, and the director would not say cut, and he told the stuntman, who plays Michael Myers, Don Shanks, do not get out of the car until I say cut. The car was catching on fire, by the way. So Don Shanks was sitting there while he's about to burn to death. He didn't have a fire retardant suit on either. He says, I was literally like, I told one of the producers, like, dude, I need to get out of the car. I'm going to catch on fire. I'm going to get out of the car. And the director got so occupied with another scene that he literally he couldn't get out the door because the car smashed. So he had to get out by like crawling through like the window to get out the car. And he said it was one of the miserable, and like, so the producer runs and said, you need to tell him to cut. So the director, oh yeah, we're cutting. And then he hurry up, tries to get out of the car as fast as he can, because, he doesn't want, if he gets out of the car and the director's like, I didn't take you out the car, it could be labeled difficult, he's a stuntman, he needs to get more work in the future. And so, and he said he waited in that car until that kill cut, and he would have burned to death. He said it was insane. He said, like, that Halloween 5 was not a great set to be on. Like, in fact, there was a trailer issue with, like, Jamie. Apparently, Danielle Harris's character, Danielle Harris, who plays Jamie, Mom was complaining because her trailer was too small. So Donald Pleasance, after he left the set, let Danielle Harris have this trailer, which is much bigger. And, of course, there was, like, the girl who plays, not Tina, not Rachel, but there's another girl who's friends with Tina. There's a sex scene in the barn that's where Michael Myers kills her boyfriend, then kills her with the hay thing, like the Grim Reaper knife, the Grim Reaper weapon. Well, apparently she did not want to shoot the sex scene, and so she was really uncomfortable, and the director and they were getting angry with her. So she said she would only do it if the girl, Danielle Harris, who plays Jamie, the little girl, was on set. And I'm like, how fucking awkward is that? She's a kid watching a sex scene be performed. How fucking awkward is that? I understand this is the 80s, but, like, really, that's not really cool to be like, okay, what are they doing over there? Oh, they're screwing for fake, but it's fake, okay. Alright. I'm like, really? That would be, I read that and I was thinking, that's kind of fucking awkward, isn't it? Just just think about that. That's really awkward to be shooting a scene with a kid present, It's already awkward that there's a bunch of guys around, the crew members, that are like, light good? Yeah. Camera's focused? Yeah. Got good lighting? Yeah. Alright. Sound good? Yeah. That's kind of awkward already. And I know nowadays when they do love scenes in movies, they do closed sets, because, that's fine. But, like, even in this movie, I'm like, that's kind of awkward to have a kid on set, you could just literally get a body double or something, or, anything else. But I just thought that was awkward that, like, they brought the little girl on set just so that I could shoot the scene. I thought that was a little awkward. Like, how awkward would that be? That's more awkward than the sex scene itself. About the same, but still. There's so much weird stuff you can watch in the Halloween 5 documentary where you're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this and this. And the movie itself, a lot of people just did not like this movie. A lot of people did. When it came out, apparently did not do well at the box office. And, it did okay, but, like, it did not make Halloween 4 way much more money. And so they were like, all right, let's just do it again. Let's just do it. They had to sell. Anchor Bay sold the rights to Miramax, or not Miramax, was Dimension, the Weinsteins, and they made Halloween 6 because they're like, the box office returns were not strong, and they're like, look, you know, if we don't sell this, we're gonna have to file bankruptcy. And so like, you know, like, look, so they sold the rights to Halloween to, you know, which Mustafar Akkad went with the rights. So it's not like he went, you know, like, oh, I'm selling my rights. Like, no, it's like the distribution sold, like, say, like, okay, look, we can't distribute, we can't do, you know, it's some kind of weird rights thing, but like, he can make the movies, but it's kind of he comes with it, kind of like with Laura Ziskin and the Spider-Man and Sony deals, where like she's a producer because she owns a part of the rights to Spider-Man, but Sony also owns the rights to Spider-Man. It's a weird thing, you know. I did not know this with rights, you know. Apparently, there's more than one people. There's more, just like you. People usually with rights, people think Sony just owns the rights to Spider-Man. No, that's not true. Actually, there's a person called Laura Ziskin, who her husband was a co-writer on Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man, and he did unscript doctoring on the first Spider-Man, called Alvin Serkin. Well, apparently, his wife, Laura Ziskin, who was a producer on all 3 of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 1, but then she sadly passed away to cancer before Amazing Spider-Man 2 could come out. She was producing all those movies, and she owned the rights because she controlled the rights to the Spider-Man movies. Kind of like how in Mission Impossible, you always see, if you watch the first 4 movies, you'll always see a Paula Patton, Tom Cruise production. That's Paula Patton owned the rights to Mission Impossible, and I guess she sold the rights away to Tom Cruise and said, look, you can have the rights. You know, just give me this much money, and so I guess she did that. And so, which people do all the time. Like, I mean, I did not know this, but the Fantastic Four, before Fox could agree and the Disney deal could come to terms, Fox did not own the whole entire rights to Fantastic Four. Apparently, Constance Films also owned some of the rights to Fantastic Four, so Disney had to pay them off before they could make the deal good. Because it's like, Constance Films could sue them and say, look, that was not their rights to give. They had to say, hey, I'm over here. You know, I own the rights too. You know, like, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. You know, it's a weird thing. There's rights are a weird thing in Hollywood. So apparently, yeah, but yeah, like when I guess Mustafar Akkad had to approve the deal when they sold the rights to Weinstein's, and Mustafar came with the deal. But yeah, Halloween 5, it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie, and it's something to watch if you want to watch it. I mean, also the Men in Black scenes, I want to say, the Men in Black scenes are dumb. I really hate those scenes. Apparently, the reason scenes were created was because they were not originally they were just created. They were not supposed to be part of a bigger plot. They were just created because they had so many plot holes in the movie, and then they were just figuring, okay, we'll put the Men in Black in there, and he'll solve this plot hole. Like, okay, because originally Michael Myers is supposed to be in the house with Dr. Loomis, is exploring the old Myers house, but instead you see the Men in Black in the house. Well, apparently that was, you know, they were like, okay, well, Michael Myers is over here, though, so how does that make sense? And so they were like, well, let's put the Men in Black in there. You know? And also, apparently, Don Shanks, who played Michael Myers, also played the Man in Black in there. And also, they couldn't shoot that same location, so they had to go to England and shoot the location. So they shot it twice. They shot that scene twice. Like, they shot the scene twice. And also, you know, and also what's funny is, there's this cops in the movie this is the stupidest scene in the frickin' movie, okay? The cops walk around, and they make clown noise, like, 2 of the dumbest cops in the movies, like, just like, why? Why? You know, it's so stupid.
Trying to find that out. All clear.
Nothing above, nothing below.
What about Max?
Adobe, right?
This is not happening to me. Max! Max, what have you done? I'm so embarrassed.
It's what we're here for.
Rescue cats.
Find dogs.
That's our job.
And we love it.
Right? That ending was so stupid. I mean, that's not the ending, but that scene was so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, they just walk around the whole entire time. Thank God they have a good ending. I mean, I like the ending. Thank God those 2 idiots died in the movie. Like, seriously, they walk around the whole movie doing that. And also, you know, the ending is really good. I really like the ending to Halloween 4 or 5. And so, like, I think the police station massacre scene was so good. It reminded me of the scene in Terminator. And it was so good. And, you know, I really like that, even though it makes no sense. I like that ending. And I really like, Dr. Loomis's death at the end. Even though he doesn't die, because I know we bring him back for Halloween 6, but his death was so strong in that movie. He dies just trying to defeat Michael. And it works. Michael gets defeated. Even though he doesn't die, he gets defeated. And it's so dumb that they bring him back. It's for 6. It makes no sense. Okay, he dies at the end of 6 and at the end of 5. At least 6. 6 is a terrible movie. But 5, at least there's some justifiable moments in that movie. 5's not that bad. Why would they bring him back for 6? Okay, makes no sense. It's pissing on the legacy of Halloween 5. Even though Halloween 5 is not a great film, it's still much better than Halloween 6. 6 is about a cult. That's so stupid, too. 6 is really stupid. Like, I'm not going to be good when that movie comes. I'm going to be so angry. I hate that movie with a passion. But, like, 5, it's okay. It's okay. Okay? It's like the X-Men Dark Phoenix. It's not terrible, but it's okay. You know? If I had to give this movie a grade, I would say it's a solid C+.
Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers.